everyone, it's your girl Weeza and welcome back to my world. And in today's video, we are going to debunk 10 myths my followers have about sunscreen. So last week I did a video about sunscreen science, everything that you kind of needed to know about sunscreen, my favorites, how to apply it, all of that kind of stuff. And a lot of conversations actually started. I had a lot of people messaging me and asking me, hey Weeza, is this true? Hey Weeza, if I do this and that, is this true? Like, where did you hear that? And they were like, my mom told me, or I read this here and here. And this is all just myths and things that aren't true and that people actually believe. I thought, what a good way to kind of touch base back on that video and make sure everyone really understood it by debunking these myths that my followers have about sunscreen, because if one person is thinking of it, there must be more people that also believe in thinking this as well. If you're new to my channel, hey, what's up? My name's Weeza. I do beauty and lifestyle videos here on YouTube. A really unique thing about my channel is my debunk series, where I physically debunk or give you the facts or the science behind your favorite beauty and lifestyle products, trends, innovations, and kind of give you the what's up, the what's happening, and help you make more informed decisions. If you're interested in checking out all my previous debunk videos, I'll link them down in the description bar below, so you can go ahead, check them out, and get caught up. As well, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos from my channel, as well as don't forget to hit that like button so I know that you like these types of videos and I can continue making them for you. Now, let's debunk my followers' myths about sunscreen. So I went ahead and wrote all of the myths on my phone here. So I'm just gonna go off, read the myth, and then kind of give you my opinion, my debunkness on it, and I'll let you know if it's true or false. All right, myth number 1. There is SPF in my makeup, so I do not need to apply sunscreen. False. So while the makeup industry is innovating, putting sunscreen in a lot of products now, that does not mean that it's an equal equivalent to sunscreen. It can act as a great tool to protect your skin from those harmful UV rays. However, it's also kind of a marketing thing. So you really need to think about it this way. Makeup we tend to apply in a thinner layer on the skin. We don't want to build it up, put lots of foundation on and make it cakey. So we tend to put maybe 1 or 2 pumps for the entire face. Now, how much SPF is really in that 1 or 2 pumps? Not very many. If you recall from my previous video, the amount of sunscreen that you need to put on your face and neck alone is 1 tablespoon, or something I call the 3-finger method, where you apply 3 lines of sunscreen on your middle 3 fingers, and that is enough for your entire face. Now, when you put that on, it's a lot of sunscreen, but we don't put that much on our face when we do our makeup, right? So the amount of SPF that you're actually putting on your face from your actual makeup is not going to give you that SPF 50 coverage or that broad spectrum coverage that it's claiming to do, because you're not putting it on in a thick enough layer. Absolutely, if you use enough of these products, like cake it on, then you will get that protection. But I'm not going to be using, say, pumps and pumps of this just to get a thick enough layer on my skin. Like, I love this stuff and she's expensive. I'm not going to use like 1/4 of the tube every time I use it. That's just not reality. That's not what we do when we apply makeup. So my bottom line for SPF and makeup is that, hey, it's great and it's a great additive to give you that extra little support in the day, but by no means should it be a replacement completely for sunscreen. SPF and makeup does not provide you sufficient amount of protection, and we cannot be certain that a thinner layer of foundation will provide us the same amount of protection as a thick, consistent layer of sunscreen would. I also think that SPF makeup is a great way to kind of top up during the day if you think that your application time is getting close and you don't have physical sunscreen with you, but you have like an SPF powder that you can like top on your face to make sure you don't get burned. That's great, but by no means is it a complete replacement for sunscreen. Myth number 2 is that I don't need to apply sunscreen on cloudy or cold days. False. So no matter the temperature or weather, UV doesn't take a vacation, right? If the sun has rise, but you physically can't see it because the clouds are just blocking it, does not mean that the sun is not there. Anytime the sun rises and the sun sets, that sun is out, she's on duty, and she's gonna be emitting those UV rays. The reason here is that people think that the clouds physically filter out these UV rays. That's not necessarily the case. Clouds are just water vapor, so not gonna have any effect on UV rays. UV rays actually penetrate water. There's literally no filtration happening from those clouds. So don't believe it if someone says, yeah, the clouds are gonna filter out those UV rays and protect me. No, UV rays are still there. They're still gonna get your skin, and they're still gonna absorb into your skin and cause burning. You can still get burned on a cloudy day if there's enough UV and the index is high enough. The other thing about UV rays that you may not know is that it has the ability to bounce off surfaces multiple times, hitting you again and again without you even knowing it. So think of when you go out snowboarding or skiing and you're completely covered head to toe, and the only part that actually sees or hits the outside world is that little part on your face, and you get red underneath your goggles or whatnot. You're getting sunburned because those UV rays are bouncing off the snow and hitting your face and just attacking your skin. Yes, you're completely covered, you're wearing a jacket, but your face isn't covered, so those UV rays are bouncing off your clothes and you're not getting any absorption there, but they're not bouncing off that one piece of exposed skin that you have, therefore creating a burn on your face. Same thing happens at the beach. UV rays bounce off the sand and go back onto you. That's why you need so much more protection when you're at the beach, because one, you're probably in your bikini or your bathing suit, so you're pretty much exposed. You're not fully covered like you would be skiing or snowboarding, and those UV rays are just having a party on the sand and just bouncing off and hitting you and everyone else around you multiple times and just absorbing into their skin. Bottom line here, wear sunscreen always. Rain, cloudy, shine, winter, summer, spring, fall, you get it. UV rays are always present from sunrise to sunset, so make sure you're staying protected during those hours of the day. Also keep in mind that protective clothing that we wear in the winter and fall months, we tend to be more covered up. Therefore, we don't see the effects or feel the effects of UV nearly as much as we do in the summer and spring when it's more sunny. So keep that in mind next time you apply your sunscreen, because UV and the sun, they don't take a vacation. They're on 365 days a year. Next myth is, Weeza, I have dark skin, so I don't need to wear sunscreen. False. This is a very common misconception that a lot of people have. Just because you don't burn in the sun or your skin takes a tan easily doesn't mean that you're immune or you have like a suit of armor that's going to protect you from the UV rays. No, it doesn't work like that. UV penetrates your skin and your skin has the ability to deal with it better versus other people who get burned with just like 2 minutes in the sun. Darker skin tones have something called melanin in it, and melanin is kind of like our natural UV blocker. So the darker your skin, the more melanin that you physically have present in your skin, and therefore the more ability to block UVB rays. UVB rays are responsible for burning, but you're not protected against UVA rays. Melanin does not absorb or reflect UVA rays. So if you recall from my previous video, UVA rays are responsible for aging and skin cancer. You're not protected or you're not immune from that just because you have high melanin concentrations in your skin. It's actually more dangerous in some regard to have darker skin because you physically can't see sun damage. If you were to get burnt on a darker skin tone, you wouldn't even know it. All you would feel is like a little bit sensitivity on the skin. You don't get that redness that you get when you see someone who's super pale and gets burnt and they're red like a lobster. Yeah, me, hi. So it's critical for dark skin tones to even practice better sun protection because you physically cannot see that sun damage as noticeably as you would on someone who has a lighter complexion. So bottom line here is darker skin tones absolutely require sunscreen at all times to help block both UVA and UVB rays. As well, we want to reduce the chances of aging and skin cancers in these darker skin tones because sometimes we don't even notice them on the skin because of the darker complexion. Myth number 4, sunscreen will prevent my body from absorbing vitamin D. False. So as you may or may not know, vitamin D is an essential vitamin which helps regulate the amount of calcium and phosphate in the body and helps contribute to healthy bones, teeth, and muscle. So your body can easily make this through the absorption of UV rays. So the theory here is that if I'm putting a screen or a block of the sun in UV rays from absorbing into my body cannot produce or make enough vitamin D for me to be healthy. This isn't necessarily true. So think when you apply sunscreen, do you actually apply it to your entire body when you're out? There are places that you miss and you don't do it intentionally. You just do it like that. Think your scalp. Are you physically rubbing sunscreen into your scalp? No. You may be wearing a hat, but hey, sorry to let you know, UV can penetrate clothes as well. You are still getting UV absorption even if you're wearing a hat. So sorry about that. You also may be missing between your fingers or between your toes. How about underneath your feet? Are you putting sunscreen at the bottom of your feet? Probably not. Also, when you're wearing a bathing suit, do you physically put it underneath? Not necessarily, because you get tan lines. So you're still getting some UV absorption in your skin. Sunscreen definitely helps to prevent this from happening, but hey, you're human. We all make errors. This kind of thing happens. Studies have shown that you only need about 5 to 30 minutes in the sun, depending on where you live, the strength of the sun, the time of day, etc., to get a sufficient amount of vitamin D to be healthy. Also, they have something called vitamin D pills. You can easily take those, and they also are present in most multivitamins. So my bottom line here is that improper and just natural error, natural human error will still allow us to readily absorb enough UV to be able to produce enough vitamin D for us to be healthy and live a great life. I don't think that vitamin D absorption is a big issue when it comes to sunscreens. Myth number 5, Weeza, all sunscreens are the same. So if you watched my last video, there's so many different types of sunscreen. There's so many different formulations, SPFs, ingredients, and just all of that stuff. One big thing that we talked about in my last video was the difference between physical and chemical sunscreens and the active ingredients inside of them. Another major difference is the SPF, or sun protection factor, that's found in every sunscreen. So not every SPF is created equal. There's ones with an SPF 30, there's ones with an SPF 50, and they filter those UV rays differently. As well, not all sunscreens are UVA and UVB protected, so you want to look for a sunscreen with broad spectrum protection. And one last note, not all sunscreens are water resistant or sweat resistant. Your body produces oils during the day and sweats, and you want to be able to keep that protection on you as you sweat and just kind of do your day-to-day thing. So my answer to this and my bottom line is that no, absolutely not all sunscreens are created equal. You have to really pay attention to the type of sunscreen that you have, the SPF, and what you want it to do for you. Make sure you read the bottles, the labels, and really get to familiarize yourself with that sunscreen so you know that it's protecting you and then it's got your back, because that's what sunscreen is meant to do. It's meant to have your back. All right. So next myth is actually super interesting, and it was actually one of the first times I've heard it, and I never really thought about it until I was asked it. You know what I mean? So sunscreen is cumulative. So if I apply an SPF 20 and an SPF 30, it would be like applying an SPF 50. And I'm like, so no, first of all, false. But I see where you're going. But no, false. Although this sounds like the most ideal and perfect scenario, it's not true. You will only get the protection of the highest SPF number that you apply. So if you're applying both an SPF 20 and an SPF 30, you will only get a protection factor of SPF 30, which is the highest of the two. This is because when these products are made, they're made with a certain SPF, which will only filter that percentage of UV rays. So if you apply an SPF 20, it can block 95%. If you apply an SPF 30, it's blocking 96.7%. Now, you're gonna get the higher amount because that's its capacity. That's as much as it can do. Out of the two, would you rather have 95 or 97? Exactly, 97. That is literally the maximum capacity that that sunscreen can filter and block accordingly, just due to the way that it's made. Just by combining two different sunscreens is not gonna change that in any which way. If you did apply a 20 at home because that's all you had, and then you went to your friends and they had a 30, and you applied that 30, you are still increasing your SPF factor by 10, therefore decreasing the amount of UV that actually gets absorbed and hits your skin. Bottom line here is that no, this isn't true, but you will get the highest of the two SPFs, because when sunscreens are manufactured, they're made with a fixed SPF number, which has a fixed amount of UV blockage and screenage, which doesn't go changed as it wears. So you'll get the best of the two. Myth number 7, I believe. I hope so. One application of sunscreen will last me all day. This is false, so false. So regardless of the SPF number that you apply, you can put on SPF number 100 or 60, you're still not going to be protected from the sun all day. So your body naturally throughout the day sweats, and they have something called oils which produce all day naturally on your body, therefore not keeping you protected. So it's recommended that you apply sunscreen every 2 to 4 hours depending on how much sun you're getting and what you're physically doing during the day. Think of like when you wear foundation all day and it starts breaking up and getting muddy and gross in certain areas because of your oil production, or you were sweating, or you went to the gym with your foundation on and now it's all gross. It's the same with sunscreen. You just can't see it because it's a transparent layer on your skin, and your foundation has a color as your skin tone, and you can start seeing it flaking and moving around on your face. So it's the same exact thing. My bottom line for this one is apply your sunscreen every 2 to 4 hours, top up on it, use an SPF makeup to top up if you need, use a spray to top up, anything that you can do just to make sure that you're staying protected. Myth number 8. I'm middle-aged, so it's too late for me to start wearing sunscreen. No, never! It's never too late to start wearing sunscreen. Sunscreen not only protects you from being burned, which sucks at any age, but sunscreen also has other benefits that we talked about. Sunscreen will help with premature aging, wrinkles, and fine lines. So if you're able to put on sunscreen, it will lessen the effects of this as you get older. And the biggest one for me anyways, skin cancer does not give prejudice to age. She's gonna get you if she wants to, and if you're not practicing good skin protection. As I mentioned in my previous debunk video on sunscreens, your chances of getting skin cancer are decreased in half. So my bottom line here is that no, it's never too late to start wearing sunscreen. Start at any age, because 1, skin cancer isn't prejudiced against age, and 2, you want to stop that aging. Having really thin and photo age skin really makes you look older than what you are. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your skin looking plump, juicy, wrinkle free, beautiful, ageless, you know, and sunscreen can give that to you at any age. Myth number 9. You can't get sunburn in water. This is so false. So the thing is that UVB rays can physically penetrate water, which is brutal. And if you're in shallow water, it's even worse because it penetrates the water, hit the bottom of the ocean in the sand, and then bounce right back off you. So you're just like getting hit 1,000,001 times by the UV rays. It's just like, it's like a war. It's like war in there. So you have UV rays reflecting off the water and then hitting your face or anything that's exposed. And then you also have UV rays reflecting off the water and hitting the parts of your body that are exposed, that are out into the world and not submerged into water, which is just, again, brutal. So you're just getting hit multiple more times than you would if you're just standing outside. So you, one, have the UV rays penetrating water and hitting your body directly. You secondly have the UV rays hitting the water and reflecting up into your body parts that are exposed and not submerged into water. And third, if you're in shallow water, you have a reflection of the UV rays hitting the bottom of the ocean and reflecting back up onto you and hitting you again. So you just lose every single time. So make sure that you're wearing enough sunscreen over your entire body when you are in water and you're out, and make sure it's water resistant. So you want to put a shot glass full of sunscreen on your entire body if you're going out to the beach and whatnot. Bottom line here is that yes, you can get sunburn in water. You can actually get more sunburn in water because you're exposed to more UV rays just by reflection and penetration of those UV rays in water. Make sure if you are going in water that you are getting a water resistant sunscreen or sunscreen that will help provide protection while you are in water. As well, you want to make sure that you're applying your sunscreen to your entire body, a full shot glass full, and you want to make sure you're reapplying immediately after you get out of the water. And myth number 10 is one that I kind of like resonate with because I love a good tan. So one of my followers said, I don't wear sunscreen because I want to tan and I look better tanned. False. So one, I also feel better when I'm tan, but girl, I tan from a bottle. So you need to keep in mind that tanning is literally your skin cells dying and asking for help. They're literally turning red or brown when they shouldn't be that color. So a tan is your body's natural protective response to an excess of UV or sun exposure. But in reality, you can still get tan by wearing sunscreen. I've definitely gotten tan while wearing sunscreen, and I've literally tried not to get tan. It's just what happens. You may not be applying as much as you should be or as diligently as you should be. You also have to keep in mind that sunscreen doesn't block 100% of UV rays. You're still getting 5, 1.3, 3% of UV rays still going onto your skin, which these rays are powerful enough to still burn you, to still give you a tan. Even though you are using sunscreen, you're not completely 100%, like I mentioned, you're not wearing that shield of armor that's going to protect you. It's helping just to protect you for the most part. So you still have a small percentage of UV light actually still hitting your skin and therefore killing your skin cells and making you tan. You'll still get tanned if you use sunscreen, maybe not as quickly as if you weren't using sunscreen, but you're still protected from skin cancer and aging. And if you're like me and you burn easily, you want nothing to do with that. So give me all of a sunscreen, please and thank you. Thank you so much. Bottom line to this, if you apply sunscreen, you can still get tan. Keep in mind, sunscreen does not block out 100% of UV. You still have some UV, which is penetrating your skin and making you tan. As well, there's multiple external factors like sweating, swimming, etc., which can contribute to your sunscreen wearing off quicker and therefore exposing your body to more UV than you thought you were. But in addition to this, I honestly don't think that it's worth it to be tanned by the sun. Just buy it from a bottle, get a self-tanner, find out what your favorite ones, which ones work well for your skin, and you should get the same benefits and feel the same without all of that baggage of premature aging and skin cancer and all of that stuff that we want nothing to do with. So Weeza's advice, tan from a bottle. Okay, so that is all of the myths that my followers had. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for submitting in your myths about sunscreen to me. I had so much fun creating this video. I'll catch you on my next one. See ya!